Good day, everyone. This is our last discussion. And before we start, let's have a short recap about this course, Applied Ethics. Applied Ethics is about the real world actions and their moral consideration in the areas of private and public life, the professions, health, technology, law, and leadership. In our modules, we talk about different kinds of lessons such as social justice, feminist ethics, bioethics, environmental ethics, and lastly is the media ethics. And for today's last discussion, we are going to talk about environmental ethics because this is very alarming situation and we need to become morally responsible with this issue. So without further ado, let's begin. Our planet is undergoing significant climate change and we are seeing extreme weather such as cold, heat, and rain, which has negative effect on individuals and other living things. So, Mr. Mejia, what's your thoughts about this kind of environmental issue?
Okay. So as we all know, the world that we are in is currently facing a climate crisis or in a climate emergency. As per the words of Miss Leia Guerrero, our country director for the Philippines Greenpeace for Southeast Asia. This is something that is very alarming and many of us are aware of it, but it seems that no one is taking action, does not pay attention to it, ignoring it, or doesn't seem to care at all. Yet, we are experiencing the effects of our own actions as humans. The rapid industrialization and globalization that our world cannot sustain, and a main factor of this is the continuous burning of fossil fuels and projects that are yet to come, or factories that are yet to be built that burn fossil fuels. We Filipinos can feel the effect of this climate crisis as we are currently experiencing intense heat. And this upcoming rainy season might have destructive typhoons and frequent occurrences of floods and landslides because of this. A warning of our Mother Nature on what to expect if we do not act is the disasters such as the Super Typhoon Yolanda, which happened here in the Philippines, and frequent forest fires in the other countries. We should be afraid of what is yet to come if nothing is done. It is sad and embarrassing that the NASA climate scientists have to take desperate measures just for us to take action in this crisis that we are in. They are willing to be arrested just to protest for us to be reminded that we are in a crisis and that there is no time to waste. Everybody is affected by this climate crisis, but not everyone suffers. The gap between the rich and poor countries is a good example of why not everyone suffers. So, in a small scale, the rich are the ones who control the businesses or the business system here in our country that burns fossil fuels, which has a big impact in this climate crisis. They are living a very comfortable life, as we can see, having food on their table and clean water to drink, while those poor people are the ones who are suffering. They suffer from the heat that is due to the burning of the fossil fuels of the factories and big businesses. Also, they have less access to water because water reserves are getting low. And yet, those rich are getting richer and living a luxurious life, even though they are one of the major contributors of why climate crisis is happening. There are many technological advancements and alternatives that are eco-friendly for the use of fossil fuels to be banished. Yet, many companies cannot let go of the complete use of fossil fuels because it is what their system and their economic growth is focused on. They need to do big adjustments, and of course, the cost of these to them is probably what they are afraid of. So that is all.
So that was fruitful words from Mr. Mejia. So what about Miss De Luz Reyes? What's your thoughts about this kind of issue?
Mm, uh, the Philippines is one of the countries most vulnerable to climate change due to its geography being an exposed archipelago. Considering some industries like agriculture, mining, and services that also play a huge role in our environment. Okay, agriculture is one of the biggest sectors of the Philippine economy, exporting their products. Sugar, rice, coconuts, and mining is one of the controversial industries in the country as it heavily affects the environment. The existing industries in a certain country depends on its geography. It happened to be that the Philippines' one of biggest industry is mining, and it also faces continuous debates on legalities, and it is not just held in our environment because the construction workers in this industry is also facing problems because it's not a stable job and they are risking their lives. And moreover, the effects of climate change in our country will mostly fall on entering more typhoons, rise of sea levels, rising temperature, extreme rainfalls, and other extreme weather events. And due to mining being one of the main industries, our country now lacks protection. It's important for us to take care of our environment because it serves us as our protection when there's a typhoon or other natural disasters. And the results of not taking care of it give us consequences. Other countries are also facing this kind of problem. And if we continue to take advantage of it, and we should expect more of it. That's it.
So thank you, Ms. Dulce Reyes, for sharing your thought. And for our last speaker, Mr. Marasigan, what's your thoughts about this climate change?
Um, I agree with what Miss Nestle said and Ariel, the first speaker. The societal issues about global warming is not new to us human beings. In fact, there were already different kind of approach or method for simple individuals in minimizing the climate change or the factors that affects the climate. For example, is the waste hierarchy. All of us might be familiar with the phrase reduce, reuse, recycle. But honestly, does the majority of us really follow this simple rule in waste management? Just simply go outside. I'm pretty sure you'll see trash even if there is already trash bin or garbage bag beside it. And according to the study of Alicia Castillo and Otoma Suhiro in 2013, it doesn't seem to be effective and efficient because it's not about the idea, it's about the discipline of the people rather. We already know that one of the problems is greenhouse gas emissions, but realistically, we need energy in our daily lives. So it is inevitable to use these gases, but we should not forget that we can minimize our use or conserve energy by just simply turning off our appliances when we don't necessarily need it. It is just a reminder for all of us because some might already know what to do to our planet. The question is, when will we start? During 2013, when the research of Castillo and Suhiro was conducted, we are in the ninth place in the countries that are in risk of climate change. Surprisingly, in the Global Climate Risk Index 2020, we are placed in the second spot with a climate risk index of 11.17. There are so many unnatural disasters in the country that is caused by unnatural human emissions. I guess you still remember Yolanda, Rolly, Undoy, and other super typhoon. It's ironic for me that we humans, according to religious teachings, are supposed to take care of this planet. Yet we are also the same humans who tend to kill this planet.
We hear the reason, evidence, and main points of the three speaker. And to understand more, Mr. Garcia give the conclusion of this discussion.
So, the environment and climate issues are one of the biggest challenges that humans are facing. In the past few decades, the environment has degraded at an alarming rate, The reason for this is that humans have become more unmindful with their environment. They are also exploiting natural resources at a much faster rate than they can be replenished. Throughout the whole discussion, it is evident that the extensive human activities greatly contributed to the changes of our climate. This has led to many environmental problems such as global warming, climate change, and pollution. As we humans are the reason for this climate issue, it also has been affecting humans in many ways. We should always keep in mind that the effects of climate change are not only limited to the environment, but they also affect human beings. These effects can be observed in various aspects such as health, economy, and society. With the aforementioned statements, it is now the time for humans to promote development that does not destroy the environment, and also to take responsibility in preserving not just the environment but also their future. That's all. Thank you.
So, thank you for wonderful discussion and for sharing your thoughts. And I hope, guys, we are become more responsible in our environment. So, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.